Geisha this week?
Gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, you're watching ECLECTICKA. I'm Seven. We've got Drew and we've got Charles. How you guys doing?
Fabulous.
All right. Drew, do the honors because we spoke about so much before the show. Where should we start today, sir?
You're cracking up, but I think I got most of that. We're picking up. Geez, where to begin? We went over like a bunch of stuff right before the show, and we're going to talk about. I guess we should start at the start, maybe with video game news. Charles, do you have anything?
I'm looking forward to Mirror's Edge Catalyst. Yes, and I believe this is a prequel to the first one. If anyone has not played Mirror's Edge, you can probably go to GameStop and get that thing for $5 out the bargain bin. And I thought it was probably it was underrated. It was very underrated. It's based on free running or parkour, if I pronounced that right. Mm-hmm. And they had that whole, it felt like you were actually free running when you were playing the game. And then the cool part is you can actually, if you wanted to, you could pick up a weapon, you could pick up a gun if you wanted, or you could run straight through without killing anybody, which made it even harder. But it was a really, really good game. And I think Catalyst now actually opened it up more, so it's not as linear. So it's pretty much run where you want to run to get to where you have to go. So I'm actually looking forward to Mirror's Edge. And what else did I do? I went over the weekend, I was watching the Rainbow Six Siege Championships on Twitch. I thought that was cool. Just wanted to pay homage to that game. I think Rainbow Six, as far as shooter games go nowadays, it's probably one of the few games that actually stuck to the Rainbow Six. Well, what made Rainbow Six Rainbow Six? It wasn't trying to add a bunch of different elements from other games. What people loved about that game is still in that game today. My only gripe about Rainbow Six, it is only multiplayer. You need a team to play it. You just cannot go online and jump into a random room because you're getting put in there with a bunch of goofballs. And if they don't communicate, you're going to be in trouble. So
therein lies the problem right there for me, because when it comes to socializing with people who play first-person shooters, particularly Rainbow Six, Call of Duty, I can't deal with you guys at all. Like, the obnoxious level just spikes. It makes my freaking just like heart rate go up just playing it with you guys. So I can't do it. I can't do it.
I've learned over years to deal with the buttholes on there, man. But a lot of times I'll go in there and just mute my mic and just go in there and annihilate people as far as on the Ghost, the Call of Duty Ghost games and things like that. But no, you're 100% correct on there. You run into some people that you're like, they shouldn't even be issued a mic. It's like they go to GameStop. This is who you are. Okay, we'll give you the Xbox or the PS, whatever. But you're not getting a mic, because you're just too crazy, man. You meet a bunch of knuckleheads on there.
Yeah, it's like antisocial behavior mixed with like Tourette's, and I'm just like, guys. I told you the one time I played it after the game was done, we won. We blew through the opposing team. But it's like, yeah, you ready for another? I'm like, no, I'm never playing this game again, and I hope I never run into you guys in life ever. Click, and then I was done. So,
that's awesome.
Oh, man. So at any rate, moving on.
Okay.
The news, this new bit of news came out a ways ago, but Netflix is currently making a brand spanking new Voltron series. Anyone who knows anime, more than likely, Voltron was one of your very firsts. I know it was definitely one of mine back in the day, right up there with Gigantor, right up there with Speed Racer, right up there with Gatchaman, Battle of the Planets. It's like one of the staple grandfather mecha anime, and it's coming back. Like, it's about time. They've been trying to make this into a new thing for quite a few years now.
Wow.
Initially, they were trying to make it into a live-action film. That fell through, thankfully. Then they tried to make it into an animated film, like in the vein of like The Incredibles or Astro Boy. That fell through, thankfully. So now it's like they reevaluated, and the best plan, I think, is this, because Netflix, they haven't let us down yet when it comes to their series. They're just now kind of branching out into like the anime and the animation world. There's a really excellent anime called Seven Deadly Sins, which was created. It's a manga. It was a pre-existing manga, but how it got adapted into a series was through Netflix, and it's freaking phenomenal. And they're just gaining more momentum, dude. So I'm really hyped. I can't wait. Voltron should be awesome.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Grew up watching a lot of Voltron.
Yep. So, also, since we're on the topic of like grandfathers and all that stuff, the idea of legacy. You guys might notice I'm rocking a Inhumans shirt today. This kind of comes in the wake of a bit of odd news from, well, maybe not odd, but there was a recent, post for the distribution dates for Marvel's superhero films. You had Civil War, you have Doctor Strange, you have Black Panther listed and all those. A lot of people noticed that in this, it was like this recent update that they made to their list, the Inhumans movie, which was originally slated to be, I think it was like 2019, it's no longer on the list. And of course, because everybody's online and they want to just jump to conclusions, the consensus is right now is, oh my God, the movie's been canceled. It's not coming out now because they have Spider-Man: Homecoming, which is going to take its spot, I think, next year, the year after. And I'm telling you guys right now, all right, chill. The movie's still probably coming out. They just pushed the dates back because Spider-Man: Homecoming is going to come out, and that made the dates shift around. So that's why we don't get Black Panther until 2018, and that's why, Inhumans, we're not going to see Black Bolt and Lockjaw on them until probably sometime in 2020. So until they make the official announcement that it's canceled, I think we're safe.
Yeah, I
have the original schedule up. So basically, look at this. You just push back everything 1 year after.
They pushed everything back. Yeah.
Okay. But what about Galaxy?
Yeah, and the reason why. Yeah. It's kind of an interesting thing, and it sparks I think, a pretty poignant issue where it's like you have these hot properties, Spider-Man, X-Men, what have you, that just kind of can do whatever they want, regardless of how well or poorly they're made. And if you mention their name, I feel like a lot of people in the industry are just willing to just trounce all these potentially new properties and fresh properties for the sake of just, popularity's sake. And I mentioned the legacy thing because the Inhumans have been around for a long time, guys. Like, when it comes to their, standing in the Marvel Universe, they're not Randys that just got here, a couple years ago. They've been around since, I want to say, the 60s. So, it's and it's a really rich, pantheon that they have with them. It's like they make up, you have Black Bolt, you have Medusa, you have Lockjaw. They're like a royal family of sorts of these Inhumans, hence the name, that were created by this alien-like culture, and they've been on Earth for centuries. So it's just the idea that alone is just really a fun concept that they've, to varying degrees, kind of dipped into in the crappy Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. show, which I no longer watch and will not watch. But playing with that idea, it could potentially be a really great addition to the MCU. But we're going to have to probably wait longer now because they all want to reboot Spider-Man again. So it's the idea that these established tent poles and these other summer blockbuster hits that they want to just keep cranking out is taking precedent over these new, potentially really juicy, rich, fun films that they could be making, but they don't.
So. Yeah, my issue with that, and I feel the same way you do. It's like when we said this. I said this last week. I think you agreed with me. They don't realize. I'm saying Hollywood in general, behind the scenes, how deep into this culture people are. Now, with Spider-Man, granted, I love Spider-Man, and you have some of the main guys, but some of these other characters that aren't so popular to the public are huge to us. Mm-hmm. You understand what I'm trying to say? And They need to let the movies come out. I believe if Inhumans comes out, it's going to do just as well, if not better, than a lot of those other movies that or as you would call them, the tent poles.
Yeah.
Again, look at Deadpool. I always go back to Deadpool. Deadpool was always riding underneath.
Yeah. I mean, look at Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
Prior to the movie, nobody knew who they were. No one. And it was it was great. It was awesome. So it's they don't want to get the chance.
Something fresh, not the same old run-of-the-mill stuff. And that's what made it great. And they're I don't know, man. They keep jamming Spider-Man down our throats and some of these other movies, man. People are going to get sick of seeing them. Let some of this other stuff.
That's the risk, yeah, because eventually we're thinking in terms of within the next 5 to 6 years. We're going to be with these movies until 2020. Like, if you're one of those people that are in the marketing or planning room, you're going to have to think, what do we have to do to make sure that these people keep coming? Because what are you going to do? Reboot Fantastic Four another 2 times? Reboot Spider-Man again and put him in high school again? Are we going to do the X-Men 3 more times? Like, what is the plan? The idea is you add new characters, new properties, new franchises into the mix and keep it fresh. You know what's going to hit? So it's like same thing like you just said with Deadpool. It was a hit because the fans rallied around it and they stayed true to the material and they just made it as its own self-sustaining thing that just wasn't afraid to be different.
You made a good
Same
point
with
before the show talking about good things and bad things about the Wolverine character, how some characters work really well around certain other characters and they just can't stand alone by themselves. Do you think that the next Wolverine movie will be able to hold up? Or at this point, he really should only be around other characters?
Okay. I'm going to let Charles take that one first because I know it. Yeah.
Wolverine, to me, has been done. I'm not a big fan of the Wolverine movies. I think, I love Hugh Jackman as an actor. I think he's brilliant. I think he has the attitude for Wolverine, but as far as the actual look for Wolverine, no. I think they're milking Wolverine a lot. I really do. If they go to do it again, I think they need to take Wolverine back to who Wolverine is. You know what I mean? Have him the short, barrel-chested, kick-ass dude instead of making him 6'2", basically appealing to Hollywood. They need to take him back to his comic book roots. Me personally, I wouldn't reboot Wolverine. I think Wolverine has basically done his time. I would not do another Wolverine movie again. You can always go back and bring him in. X-Men has so many characters that they can use. You can always bring Wolverine in there to do a quick, a cameo or team up with somebody. But to run back and do another, how many times do we have to see it? It's getting to the point where it's redundant. And it's getting boring. You know what I mean?
Well,
or bring in some of the other characters like Omega. Yeah, let's do that. Yeah.
Just a transition.
So, from 2000 to now, it's a long time.
He's been Wolverine for 16 years now.
16 years.
That's a crazy stretch of time. I feel that, I agree mostly with you, Charles. Wolverine is the allocated badass to the X-Men. He always has been. So it's to take him away from the X-Men and give him his own thing where he's brooding, and they try to do that whole thing in Origins where he had a wife and he was a lumberjack and all this other needless crap. It's like you're always saying, dude, not every character can have their own series. It's not every character needs their own movies. I feel that Wolverine's best stuff is when he's working with a group of other people because his thing is he's not afraid to kill. In most of his best comics are the ones where he's just either conflicted with the idea that he's the one that kills or he completely accepts it. Old Man Logan, I think, is the best case of him conflicting with that because for the most of the comic, he refuses to try to he doesn't want to use his claws because he knows that's accepting inside of himself that he wanted to just sit up there and forego and relinquish. But in the films, you're not going to get that same dynamic, I feel. So when we were talking about the X-Men Apocalypse movie, that's them essentially hitting the refresh button with the X-Men franchise. Mm-hmm. By the time that picks up speed and they're ready to go into more films with that, I feel like it'll be about that time to where they have to recast Hugh Jackman. And when they do, I'm hoping that they let go of this idea that we're trying to make him into a heartthrob. I don't care that females think that Hugh Jackman is hot, so I want to keep him doing, the same old thing over and over again. Make him the short 5'3", barrel-chested brolic dude that slices people down because no one else in the X-Men can.
I guarantee if they model the next casted X-Men guy, whoever's coming in, like they have him in the comic books, when he comes on screen, the whole theater would jump up and give him a standing ovation. He come in there just tearing stuff up, man.
I'll put it this way. Half of us will be like, yeah, we're glad to see you back. And then you're going to have the girls, ew, he's not cute.
Forget that, man.
So,
Stay true to the roots, man. Stay true to the roots.
Stay true to the roots. I'm like, that you wanted the real Wolverine? This is the real Wolverine. Let's get it in. Oh, Seven, you're holding up something. I can't really get it good. Is this the
Warcraft?
Oh, Warcraft. So, Yeah, talking about.
I'll let you blast off this one.
Yeah, this is both movie news and video game news. The trailer for the long-awaited, I guess, Warcraft movie came out this past week. I saw it. Now, mind you, I've never been on the bandwagon for Warcraft. I've never played World of Warcraft. I know my friends that are like obsessed with it. It looks okay. The idea is cool. It works. It's functional. It's, staple fantasy. The movie itself just looks like every other fantasy film where you have orcs, you have knights, you have sorcerers, and at one point you see this big group of two armies clashing with each other. It's everything that we've seen over and over again. It's like the dialogue was just like, all right, that's basically insert movie here that we've seen that 18 other times in. It looks like it brought nothing new to the realm of fantasy. And for a movie that's been in development for so long, 10 plus years, why do I feel like it was so haphazardly put together? Like,
honestly, to me, like some of the scenes look just like the battles out of Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, right. It just look. I'm like, wow, it looks the exact same. So, I don't get it. I think I would have just stuck with the game. I've never played Warcraft. I watched people play it, but I think it should have just stuck to the video game. I don't know. Like the previews did not impress me at all. So
yeah, I'm not impressed. Like, I'm not impressed at all with it. So we'll see, though. Good. I mean, maybe
it looks good.
Surprise this, but so far I'm just not hyped.
We say the same run-of-the-mill things, Yeah.
Yeah. So, in other news that just came out this week, I guess it was yesterday, we had our first footage of Doctor Who, his latest companion. I can't remember what her name is. I remember her last name is like Pearl, and she's going to play a character named Bill in the upcoming season. I don't know if you guys are really into Doctor Who.
I used to watch it.
Oh, yeah, I mess with Doctor Who heavy, and I like her. Because Doctor Who's companions, for those of you who don't know, very briefly, Doctor Who is an alien. He, for some reason, keeps going to Earth, and his thing is he always has, like, a companion or a few with him going on his ventures throughout time and space in this little blue box that he calls the TARDIS. So he's had some really cool companions, like Martha Jones. The guy that plays Rip Hunter on Legends of Tomorrow, he played a character named Rory who was really cool. And then he's had some really crappy companions, like a chick named Rose Tyler, who I absolutely despise, and I just can't stand as a character. This chick, I feel like she is a nice blend of comedy and like the dry sarcasm that this current Doctor seems to exhibit a lot. I think they can play well off of each other. Because Peter Capaldi is like a very surly, dry-witted, like he's just like your grumpy old uncle, like, so when you have this like kind of bright-eyed, smart-ass like chick that's with him, and it has like really good comedic timing, I think it could be really fun. So yeah, that was I'm actually hyped. I can't wait to see that one. So what else we got for us, Seven? You're pumping.
Final Fantasy.
We could have, yeah. Oh man, the beast, the champion itself. So, Final Fantasy 15. If those of you who have ever picked up a video game don't know what Final Fantasy is, you're messing up major. This is like gonna be the pinnacle game, I feel, for the franchise thus far. They've had quite a few stinkers since like the era of Final Fantasy 7. Charles, you know what I'm talking about. I believe.
Exactly what you're talking about.
Like 8 came out, it was I wasn't impressed. 9 came out and everybody was just like, dude, this is hot garbage. 10 came out and that was a bit divisive. And then you had 11 and 12 and 13 and what have you. And I think after that, people like Square was like, we got some work to do. Mm-hmm. So this game has been in the works for, I feel like almost 10 years now, the better part of a decade. It looks like it's going to be freaking bestial.
Yeah, it looks like, phenomenal.
Yeah, like Charles, I know your thing is typically like money and making sure that like a person gets their money's worth with these video games. If you're going to invest $60, $70 in a game, 1, make sure it's a full game, and 2, make sure it's worth my $70. I don't think that's going to be a problem with this one.
I don't think so.
Oh my God!
I don't think it would be.
Yeah.
Well, that's now the thing is, it's just coming out for PlayStation. I don't think it's just a PlayStation title, right?
I believe it's an exclusive. Yes, I could be wrong, but I'm fairly sure it's an exclusive.
I don't think I want to go buy a PS4 and play it.
I will.
Yeah, that sucks.
I totally will. Between that and the Final Fantasy VII remake, yes, that's going down.
That'd be good. Yeah, I think it's going to do very well. I think it's going to do very well, and it'll definitely meet everyone's expectations. I was just looking at some of the screenshots, and I just wanted to jump right into the screen. It looks fun.
Great every time. And the idea is like how they're essentially the idea of Final Fantasy, this one, they're reinventing it, so to speak. They're not doing the turn-based action anymore. Like when it comes to the world, essentially it feels like you're on one big road trip with the characters, and just the worlds, the monsters, the characters, the attacks, the cinematics, all of it just looks like this is Square Enix giving you like their all. So I absolutely can't wait until it comes out. I'm super hyped. Let's go. Let's get it.
And I think another thing I want to bring up too is where a lot of video game companies, to me, kind of drop the ball is they'll have a hot title come out, and it seems like they'll have sequels of the game come out, and they do not live up to the original, and it's like they're trying to sell you garbage in a box, and they're just riding on the name. And I think Final Fantasy did that for quite a few games. You know, we can just ride on the name, and they learned their lesson, and they're going to do it right. So,
I kind of disagree. I feel like they tried to do new things because whenever you make a game and you have a franchise that's been around for so long and has such a strong, like, you know, avid fan base, they want to switch things up. They don't want to rehash the same stuff over and over again, so they try to innovate. Some innovations work, like with Final Fantasy VII and their materia system. Others don't, like Final Fantasy IX and everything about Final Fantasy X with their stupid nodes where you had to sit up there and basically play connect the dots just to level up my damn character. It didn't work. I didn't know. So I think that they're kind of like taking the parts that worked with the other installments of the franchise and just kind of adding it with more of like a smooth, real-time, you know, just play the game as you will without the turn-based stuff elements. I think it'll work. I'll be really shocked if, like, I'm not thoroughly impressed with that.
How do you guys feel about the video games that become huge movie franchises? Like Resident Evil.
Let me jump on this one real quick.
Go ahead.
All right. This is sort of going back to what we just said. It's like they'll try to ride off the name, and a lot of times these movies, you play the game is Resident Evil was one for me, and it was like, I know Drew, you said you liked it. To me, it was just
First
like
two. No, don't misquote me.
yeah, okay. The first two. And I was not a big fan of any of them. And then I think the third one, they brought Mike Epps. I like Mike Epps. But when you bring Mike Epps into a Resident Evil film, it's like, what are you doing, man?
Like, what do you guys do? Come on, man.
You had some other ones like Blood Rain, and it's just, I'm like, come on, guys. If you're going to make a game into a movie, at least do it right. At least do it right. Because a lot of these games, they do have. Now, that one with them, this is the thing. It was like a budget type film, but it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. It was actually a lot better. And I did watch it on Netflix, and it wasn't so bad. It wasn't so bad. I was like, man, I avoided that thing like the plague. And then I was up one night, and I kept, you're running through looking for the different stuff to watch. And I was like, let me just watch this thing. And I was actually, hey, it's not too bad.
And in theory, you figured that Halo one would have been huge.
Yeah, this is the thing. The thing was people were trying to do that Halo film for years, and it was like, okay, we're going to make it. At one time, I thought it was in production. Wasn't what's the guy that did the King Kong movie? Peter Jackson?
Peter Jackson.
Was he? I think he was supposed to do it, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong.
Tell you. I don't know.
But a lot of these games have really detailed stories. You know what I mean? They really do, and it's like the story that you can't tell in the game because sometimes you lose track. People, you're all involved in the game, and the story sort of gets kind of lost. Mm-hmm. They need to bring that story onto the screen, and they don't. They just, okay, well, we're going to take and do our own thing, and they do their own thing and kind of follow it all up. So
Yeah, in that regard, playing with that idea, I feel that games are so far advanced. You get film cinematic quality with most of these games. God of War, even though I don't play Halo, like I still give props with just how they set landscapes and how they show these big, larger than life sci-fi battles. Like Final Fantasy, it is a movie. When you take just the cutscenes alone, you have more than 8 hours worth of footage. So when it comes to these like companies trying to sit up there and just cash off of that, we'll just make a live action version of the same crap that you can see but better on your own PlayStation or whatever system you have. Just who cares? They're trying to make a Devil May Cry movie, then they're trying to make a Halo movie, then they're trying to make a God of War movie. It's like, dude, I'll just play the game if I want to see the game not screwed up on my screen. So
yeah, that's like the video games that used to come out with the movies. Remember, they had the movies and the video game come out. And you're like, oh, what are you doing? And the game was just total trash. I'm like, and you notice they don't do that much anymore. They don't have the games coming out with the movies, not like they used to. Not like they used to, man.
They tried to sit up there and ride that dragon for a minute too, where you had these movies come out, and then you had these crappy, piss poor games that came out right along the time with it to try to like pitch the movie. I can't tell you. This was like in the early mid 2000s, maybe. I think you remember this era, Charles, where
The
you
last
have an
one I
action
bought
movie.
that was the Iron Man game. I bought an Iron Man game because it came out with one of the movies, and I was just disappointed. I'm like,
Yeah, Iron Man, the Hulk, Van Helsing. You had all these movies that came
Spider-Man
out.
games, they did that.
Spider-Man games, yeah. They were just bad. It's just people not caring about the product and just trying to pitch further crap and like merch on you on top of seeing the movie. So just stop it. Just let there be a divide. Unless you have a solid idea that does something that the video game can't do, don't bother. Because no one's gonna go. You're gonna lose money on a project, and it's just not gonna be a good time for anyone. So
this is one thing I want to say. This was sort of when you had the Matrix come out, right? And then they had the Animatrix come out, which was pretty cool because it sort of gave like a backstory of what was going on behind the scenes. Now, if you're thinking you do something like that, give the viewer some substance, and then it'll work. But if you're
make it connected, but don't try to like sit up there and just turn it into like a quick grab on some reinvention of it. Like you remember that really bad Super Mario movie that came out in the 90s? Remember that one?
Yeah.
That was them. That was someone who had an idea, right? On paper, Super Mario is very simple. Two plumbers find themselves in an alternate world, and they have to sit up there and fight Koopa to rescue some princess. How we got John Leguizamo and whatever was going on in that movie is beyond me. That was just someone who was trying entirely too hard and had an all right idea for a regular sci-fi movie that they tried to just spackle Super Mario stuff along with it.
Yeah,
so,
I do remember.
I
do remember that. That was bloody awful.
John Leguizamo, my dude.
Yeah, wow. That just bringing back bad memories on that thing.
And admittedly, because I was a little kid once too, and like most little kids, I didn't know anything. I watched that movie, and as a kid, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed that. I enjoyed that god-awful Double Dragon movie that they made.
I love Double
had that on VHS.
Game.
I watched it all the time. That Street... Oh, wait, guys. Remember the Street Fighter movie with Jean-Claude Van Damme as Colonel Guile?
I do. That was...
Quality garbage. Video game movies, man. Stop it.
I don't think any of the... I didn't even like the Mortal Kombat movies. Those were bad, too.
The first one I liked, Annihilation, was absolute garbage. And I had that one, too, as a kid.
That was dark. You couldn't even see what the heck was going on in the thing. Yeah, I guess they're trying to hide the special effects with all the dark cinematics and stuff.
It was them, trying to make a PG-13 Mortal Kombat movie because Battle War.
Oh man, I was just about to say that Mortal Kombat. It had PG-13. So much promise.
They tried to fix it though with the series.
Huh? Say it again.
They tried to fix it with the series that they made, web series.
Oh, okay.
Which was pretty badass. They had 2 seasons of that, and then it just kind of went the way of the dodo. But that was actually pretty badass. I like that in the series.
I still think they have room if they just wait a year or two and then do it again. Maybe not even a year or two. If literally, if you came out this summer with a really good Mortal Kombat like script and action, I think they would win large because there's such a strong fan base.
You know what would be sick if they did like a Mortal Kombat, even a Street Fighter movie, the guys that put together those Raid movies, Raid 1, if you ever seen a Raid or Raid 2.
Oh, yes,
Man,
yes.
if you can get those guys, my thing, anyone listening out there, if you haven't seen Raid 1 or Raid 2 or the Raid, man, you were missing out. I'm surprised nobody died making those movies. That's how badass, excuse my language, those fight scenes are, man.
Some of the most brutal stuff I've ever seen. If you want to get the Mortal Kombat movie rolling again, or Street Fighter, what have you, those guys, them or Yuan Wu Ping, who's like one of the greatest fight choreographers in cinematic history. Like, if you're going to make it, put effort into it. So that would be fierce, Charles. I totally agree. That would be freaking fierce. Cool. So I think that's about it.
Yeah.
We can go on, but of course it's that time again, guys. So we're going to let you go. Catch us every Sunday around this time, since I don't know times are Eastern Standard versus Pacific. Check us out when you see us. I've been Drew in cyberspace. We got 7, and of course Charles. We'll see you guys next week. Check us out on the website. SEV. What's the website, 7?
SEVnetwork.com. SEVnetwork.com.
That's the one. There we go.
Have a good one, folks.